take a look at where all of the energy is coming from, right? And are they unlimited resources, right? Oil, natural gas, coal, nuclear. We already talked about this in an earlier class. All of those things are not renewable, okay? All of these are finite resources. When they're gone, they are gone. Hydroelectric, wind power, and solar are renewable resources. They're based on natural cycles. As long as we don't destroy the natural cycles, we can continue to harvest energy from them. Okay? Geothermal and biomass, biofuels are another way that we can sort of work within a cycle to kind of harvest energy from it. Okay? Take a look at the amount of consumption, right? In the billions of, I forget what that the TO stands for, it's tons of something or other. Okay? But you can see the relationship of how much energy is coming from what stuff. And you can look at what's happened from 1965 through, say, 2000, and then what will happen by 235. All right, 2035. So we have easily quadrupled or quintupled, right, by 2035 the amount of energy that we'll be consuming on the planet. And look where the bulk of it is. Coal, the most polluting fossil source, right? Oil and gas. All finite resources. Once you use it up, it's gone. You guys already learned that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, right? And so if you think about the amount of energy that exists on Earth, right, or the amount of carbon that exists on Earth, it's all here. Short of a meteorite coming in from outer space and entering the Earth, there's no way to put more carbon in here. So as we burn all these fossil fuel sources, right, we're basically putting more carbon and more emissions into the air, right? And we're taking the Earth back to prehistoric levels. Because remember, all that stuff, all those animals and stuff that died over billions of years eventually ended up underground. And they captured all of that carbon, right, in their bodies and in the leaves and in everything, and then it all went in and turned into ooze, right? Now we're pulling it out of the Earth and we're burning it. And all that carbon that was in the ooze under the surface of the Earth is now going up into the air, into the water. It's going everywhere, okay? So basically, as humans develop, we need more and more and more and more energy. And you know, the rate at which they're building coal-fired power plants and the amount of oil that the U.S. uses is astronomical. All right, and what that leads to is depletion of resources. So these are actual pictures of a strip mine and an entire forest that was cut down so that it could be used as a resource. So they're ripping down major stretches of rainforest, which is basically the Earth's lungs, and they're using up the wood, or they're turning it into, you know, farms and other things. So the result of all that, the result of all these humans using all of this stuff is basically pollution. There's no way around it. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the issue of the problem. All right. Our reliance, the U.S. is a huge consumer. I mean, we are probably the largest consumer of natural resources on the face of the earth. And our reliance on fossil fuel sources is just, it's unsustainable. There's no way. There's no way we can keep pulling all that stuff out forever, right? There's no way we can keep pumping all of that stuff into the environment, all of the carbon into the environment, right? Without having some sort of a repercussion. So we take a look at consumption. This dates back a few years, okay? But take a look at the consumption of oil, all right? This is in billions of barrels a day. Billions, okay? Compare the United States to China. These, again, these are a little bit dated, right? If you take the US consumption, right, and you compare it to the next group of stuff, it would take you about 9 of the countries underneath us, right? China, Japan, Russia, India, Germany, Brazil, Canada, right? If you added all of their consumption of oil up, it would basically come up to what we use. So another big problem. One of the resources that the U.S. is very well endowed with is coal. But coal is a big, big, big contributor to carbon emissions, right? And the carbon emissions essentially are what's causing a lot of greenhouse gases to sort of trap the heat in the earth. Now, what you're looking at on that map is all of the plants that are planned in the United States, okay? So it is extremely carbon intensive. You guys looked at its efficiency, right? The efficiency of carbon, or the efficiency of a coal-fired power plant is about 30%. And that's a really efficient one, okay? Coal is responsible for over half of the CO2 gases that have been emitted into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution. That's huge. Just coal. Half of it. Anyway, so a lot of times people aren't aware of how we use energy, and so let's take a look at it, all right? So approximately half of the energy consumed by us is attributed to either making buildings or maintaining buildings. So half of our entire energy, everybody always thinks, oh my God, industry and all of their polluters, right? Or, oh, look at all those cars and people moving around. Look at all the pollution they're causing. Yeah, well, the part you don't see is what this building right now is using to keep it cool. Completely invisible and silent. It doesn't have a tailpipe that you can see. All right, take a look at electricity. Now, when you look at the amount of electricity that gets produced in the U.S., and remember, those coal-fired plants are producing electricity, okay? Buildings essentially account for 76% of all of the electrical uses in the United States, right? Transportation is 1%, and industry is 23%. It'd be nice if transportation were higher, but it's not.